Hi there, and welcome to a very special coworking. It's a podcast about what makes a coworking special. And this month, I welcome Sonia Amroun from Awid Aman. You're gonna tell me if I pronounce that right because I'm not sure I do, but that's for
Awid
later.
Aman.
Awid Aman, thank you very much. Which is not a co-working, it's a co-living, but you have to work somewhere at some point. And usually I found out that co-working and co-living work very well together, or you do both at the same time, or you partner with one another. So I really want to learn about people who choose to live where they want and end up working where they live and not living where they work. And that's really the main topic of this month's interview with Sonia. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you for inviting me.
Very welcome. I think Sonia, I didn't know about what she was doing, and I lived in Canary Islands, so she's in La Palma now. I used to live in Gran Canaria, and I would have loved to come by if I knew about it then, but next time for sure. And
Yes.
someone else told me about what she's doing. I was like, oh my god, I need to contact her, and we catch up. And the funny thing is that this podcast is in English, so we're speaking in English, but we both speak French. So when I catch up with her, we talk in French. But we're like we're international people, and we talk every many languages. Do you also speak Spanish? Spanish, maybe, Sonia.
Yes, I speak 5 languages, and yes, Spanish is one of them.
What are the two others?
Kabil, it's my mother tongue, and Darija from
Ooh.
Algeria, and I
Hmm.
understand also Darija from Morocco. Yes,
Whoa,
I'm North
amazing.
African.
Yeah, yeah, so great, so great. And so Sonia, let's start. Uh, so when did you start? Did you start your first space in La Palma, Gran Canaria, or did you start something somewhere else before?
So it's La Palma, the islands, and
Yes.
it's in Los Llanos de Ridane. No, I started here on La Palma because basically I
Hmm.
didn't find a co-living or a co-working space. That was the main reason, and I fell in love with this island, and I fell in love with the yes, the energy here, the quality of life, the safety.
Yes.
As a solo traveler woman, I'm all the time asking myself where I
Hmm.
can also be able to walk alone home without having a taxi or a person walking me home. And
Hmm.
I'm traveling for more than 15 years. And yes, La
Hmm.
Palma was like a big crush for me because I felt safe,
Yeah.
good internet, good food, good people, amazing landscapes. And yes, I checked co-working, and nothing was there. It was also in the middle of the pandemic, so it was a bit also difficult to go to see people. Even if on La
Oh
Palma
my God. When
everything
was
was
it?
open. That was exactly 20 like January. No, not January. I opened it the 1st of February 2021.
Uh-huh.
And yes, it was like exactly 1 year after the start of the
Hmm.
pandemic, but we were still in the craziness of the pandemic.
Yeah.
Paris was locked down like hell, and the story is like I negotiate 1 month and a half, um, 1 month and a half remote time from my team,
Hmm.
and I left in December saying I will be back in mid-January. No worries, guys, I'm back, and never came
No.
back. and, and that was really funny because I was like, okay, that
Where were you
that can
living
happen.
before?
I was living in London first, but then I got a job in
Mhm.
Paris, and
Yeah.
then I was in Paris when the pandemic hit.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
That must have been difficult, right?
Well, I think for everyone. I mean, like it was really like that was a massive punch in our
I
face.
think I was living in the countryside when it happened, and that summer was pretty good. So I went on a walk not every day, but every week around my home, and with all the neighbors were going out, and yeah,
No,
walking,
in
hiking through the
Paris.
woods, and it was very charming in certain ways. So it was one of the best places where you could go lockdown. So I'm sure my experience is very different from everybody else or
Oh, we were
living
pretty
in
locked
big
down in
cities like
Paris. Like
Paris.
I realized, actually, I realized that I made it all. Like I was like head of sales. I was
Mhm,
earning good money. I was like having a good
mhm,
flat. And then I was like really in a real neighbor. Like it's so cool when
mhm.
everything is open. Like, it's the coolest. I mean, like I'm a cultural girl, so I love theater. I love cinema. I
Yes.
love a good concert. I love good food. And I really picked
Mhm.
the place in Paris that was offering all this.
Yes.
And then you wake up and there is no park. There is no
Mm,
possibility to walk. There is nothing actually.
mhm,
And also that was really funny because I'm also I think about everything when I choose a place, and I really choose like the place with a supermarket just in front. And so
mhm.
the only way that you can go out was to go to the supermarket, but my
Yes.
supermarket was like at 5 meters from the building I was living in. So I was like, okay, I cannot even say I went to the supermarket
Oh,
because in my address, like there is a supermarket in front. So, I mean, there was like there was a big uh, life changing experience for me,
yes.
and then I started really to yeah like from May. No, not May. They really opened like the travels in June, and from
Mhm.
June I started to really become a nomad, and we
Yes.
were working remotely, but first in France and
Yes.
then in Europe, and then in Canaria, and I never came back.
Yeah, so you went to from a big, you did the big stretch from busy Paris with everything you want nearby your place, and now you're in La Palma where I know we talked about it before, there isn't much, or maybe there's just enough.
There is just enough.
Mm,
Yeah, and basically I'm more into nature now,
mhm,
and yeah, and really reconnecting with simplicity,
mhm,
than the show off, than the than the fast life, then we need to make that much money,
mhm.
and
Is that
yeah.
is that recent? Because you've been living in London, in Paris, and now you're talking about nature.
Yeah,
So
three
is that
years.
something you were thinking about for a long time, or did you rediscover it during the
No,
pandemic?
I think I rediscovered
Mhm.
with the not with the pandemic. I'm a nature girl. I mean, like I'm lucky. My dad
Yes.
was like really a guy that was taking us in nature, in the mountain, and I mean, like my mom and him, like they're king of picnic, and I have like all these memories, like going all the time every weekend in a natural place. Then Paris took that from me because basically it's. I mean, you can go to Fontainebleau, so we stick. Even when we were living there, when we left Algeria, so we left pretty
Mhm,
young. I was 8. My dad stick
mhm,
to the every weekend we go into the nature. We go into a forest
mhm.
nearby. We go to a park, and that was something that was part of my culture. But the thing of cutting with the image of what is a life, what is
Yes.
making this life, what
Mhm,
it looks success, what success looks, and that I'm really mixing, trying. I'm authorizing myself to try everything since 3 years, from living in a
yes.
forest with the community to having my co-living here, trying other communities around Europe.
Mhm.
I don't know. I'm really opening my chakra. We say it in French. We say it like this, in order
Yes.
to really feel it. To
Mm,
understand where is my space,
mhm,
because yeah, I want to create my own reality of happiness and success, and
mhm,
and it's not matching at the moment anything that is like offered at the moment. so
mhm.
so I'm
Yeah,
trying.
yeah. Yeah, so you were in Paris, then you travel in Europe, you end up in La Palma, you fell in love, and you think, I have to build something there.
Yeah, that was really, and it was very. I'm a manifestor generator. They say it in
Hmm.
in a like in a how do you say human design, and it took me 2 weeks to open it.
Oh, and two
Yeah,
weeks you opened your first co-living
co-living.
space, or was it? Hmm.
Yeah, my first co-living space in 2 weeks. I am in my first co-living space now. I don't know if you see,
Yeah,
but
yeah, very pretty.
basically, I lost it. I mean, I'm still living in a part of it because we had a volcano. So we had the birth of a volcano on the island, and it
Hmm.
changed my plan. And it's really funny because these last 3 years, my plan changed so much. And all the time,
Hmm.
I'm like, oh, I'm planting a seed, and boom, something else is happening. So I really feel that I still need to search for
To
yeah,
remain
search
open to what's coming.
exactly to remain
Mm.
open. Yes, yes. So
And
yes,
so you were
I
saying,
am in my
mhm.
first co-living now.
Yeah, you were saying you started that co-living in La Palma. When was it? When did you first open?
February 2021, and
Hmm.
I had like managers running it, and that was like basically there was a normal house. There was a normal co-living when I started because I was still head of sales, and
Hmm.
I was having like heavy Zoom session, and that really forced me to have people taking care of it too. So we were a
Yes.
team of 3 4 people, like three really, and one person was like on the top, to give yoga, da da da. And at this time, yes, I was like really just making sure that the people were happy,
Hmm.
and the people were able to come for 2 weeks. And the
Yes.
story is like they were coming for 2 weeks and staying like 3 months. So it was like real
You liked it.
beauty. Yeah, that was super
Yes.
nice.
Yeah. So
And
very great feedback from the participants.
yes, I mean, yeah, they're still on Google. You can see all the feedback of the first
Yes.
clients, and yes, that was really cool. But then the volcano came,
Yes.
and I
You had
became
to
nomad.
evacuate the whole island.
Yes, yeah. That I mean, that was a choice because they had a
Mhm.
crisis of house, so I
Yes.
couldn't feel like staying in a house alone while people were
Hmm.
like not having a place to stay. So I let it to my landlords because
Hmm.
they lost their house. Actually, it was a real crisis,
Wow.
and they're still
Yeah,
living
yeah.
inside. And now they just call me back when they realize that they can rent parts, and I said, yeah, okay,
Hmm.
for sure. So I'm co-living with them,
Ooh.
and I have another co-living on La Palma at like
Yeah, so
15
it's a
minutes.
real partnership with the
Always,
landlords and
yeah,
hmm.
always. I never take. I always take places from the locals and make sure that it's run by locals.
Hmm.
Because I really believe also that entering into a new place when you're like a foreigner, no one,
Hmm.
and you want to make business as fast, you really need to be like with locals. And
Hmm.
and yes, this is why I'm really grateful that I found Palmeros that
Yes.
open their house for me.
Yeah, great, great. So that was in 2021. And
Yes.
how is it now? Do you still have same similar kind of space?
No, no, no. Now I have a mansion. I have a mansion with like
Okay.
6 rooms, and
Hmm.
it's like a small castle. It's really antique.
Hmm.
But the concept changed totally. Now I really take people only
Okay.
for 1 month minimum. I
Okay.
really I really slow down. I I
Hmm.
I also asked 2 months, but 2 months was too much. That was the last season, and
Yes.
2 months was too much. Actually, it's like a bit too much. So
So
now we
one
are
month
doing
is
1 month.
perfect. Hmm.
Yeah, 1 month is perfect. And if the person wants to say, we just talk after 2 weeks, and we find a solution. But yeah, 2 months is like, yeah, it's like a prison at the end. So it was a nice, and freedom is so important for me. So
Hmm.
yeah, and yeah, and then it's like only people working. Yes, working on their business, most of them. And
Hmm.
we are still accept some people that are remote, but the contract is like, we want that your enterprise is really
Hmm.
really okay with that. Because after 3 years we got so much trouble with people lying to their jobs, and then
Yeah.
they were like,
Mm,
don't
mm,
speak Spanish or don't speak French around me, and I'm like, hey, we are living together, so if we cannot speak our language.
mm,
And yes, and unfortunately a lot of people weren't really free to work
mhm.
abroad. So after this, I put more rules.
Okay.
Mm.
So a bit of learning, but basically, it's the same concept. I understand. You're also working part-time, or are you fully dedicated now to your space?
No, I work 3 days per week
Mm-hmm.
for an enterprise, and
Mm-hmm.
the rest of the time, yeah, I'm helping with the co-living, but I'm
Yes.
also developing other skills because I'm also a massage
Yeah.
therapist and I'm also a yin
Ooh.
yoga teacher. So now
Mm-hmm.
I'm like starting to have some clients here, and yes, the 2 days it's like more working with my hands, and 3 days working as a head of
Yes.
sales or lead generation specialist or business development specialist. Depends of the mission. But I'm fully freelance.
Oh, okay. So you've changed that. And
Yeah,
you were saying you were first in La Palmas, then you had to leave. I understand you went somewhere else.
yeah. I went somewhere else. I came back just 1 year ago. I went to
Mm.
La Gomera. I went to Tenerife.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And then I did a tour of Europe. And during this tour of Europe, I visited many different communities
Yes.
because I think that we under we underestimate
Mm-hmm.
the difficulties of living abroad with a lot of stranger that doesn't speak your language, and living abroad as a freelancer also. It's like something that we are in a constant instability actually, and
Mm-hmm.
very far from our, yeah, our friends, and yes, if you are far from your support system, and having something that big like having a volcano moving, etc., i had this call
Yes.
I had this call to really find a community,
Mm-hmm.
and also the second call was like also start to work with my hands. That was really
Yes.
important, after the pandemic,
More
after the
manual work.
volcano.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and more being human, more being like I cook also, I do event with food, and
Mm.
it's really important for me to develop this, to develop that, and also still working online, because
Yes.
it's easy. It's easy. This is how I make most of my money, but yeah, the hand work and finding communities similar, I felt less
Yes.
alone, because the
Mm.
going back to Paris,
Yes.
it's not an option.
No, not
No,
anymore.
no, no. I tried like just 2 months ago. I stayed 1 month, and I was like, no. I love Paris, but 1 month just to see my friends.
Yeah. Just like people come 1 month to La Palma to your co-living space.
Yes, and yeah, yeah. Paris is to see parents and friends. So I think I
Mm,
spend 2 months per year.
mm,
Mm.
mm. Yeah. And I had a conversation, interesting conversation last week with some friends. We were talking about co-living, and
Yeah.
I talk about my podcast and our interview coming. And they were saying, oh, they didn't use those words, but they were kind of saying, "Oh, co-living is just a fancy shared flat. You know, when you
Mm?
share flat when you're in university and something like that, it's just more
Mm.
expensive." I say, it depends. You know,
Mm.
what would you say the difference is between just a bunch of friends of people coming, sharing a house and a co-living space?
Mm. First of all, it's a real job, building a co-living, and I think that the one that
Yeah.
really built it the best way are people
Yes.
coming from hospitality.
Mm,
And co-living, yes, it's like a service.
mhm.
It's a house providing services, and these
Yes.
services is are multiple. Is the way that, okay, you need to arrive in a space that allows you to work, and
Hmm.
you cannot imagine the number of messages that I receive. Oh my god, my Airbnb is not lied to me, and it's not real reliable internet. Da da da.
Yes.
Also, yes, it's a way also to discover the culture faster, and it's not a hostel.
Mm-hmm.
So of course, and you can stay 1 month. You don't have to stay 12 months, and all the
Mm-hmm.
responsibility inside of the house is not yours. So basically, if you are traveling solo. You know that you need to have a strong routine in order to maintain your productivity as a remote worker or as a freelancer.
So true.
You, I mean, you be careful of the type of community you are choosing, because of course, if it's a party co-living, or if it's like a fast life and we need to make millions and da da da, maybe, I mean, just check which type of people are going there, and the reviews, and then you just check the vibe. And then normally a co-living needs to provide you a comfortable space, a
Mm-hmm.
service for your living there. That means we facilitate your stay, we facilitate your discovery of the island, of the place where you are, and we take ownership of what is going on inside of the house. And trust me, I lived in London. I'm a specialist of flat share. And no, there is a big difference. Flat share is basically everybody got like his room, and if you are
Mm-hmm.
lucky, you can have like a living room. I mean, in France, yes, you have a living room, but what is really difficult is the ownership inside of the house. You never know, so
Mm-hmm.
you call the owner, he don't answer. You need to make it yourself, and if there is a problem, it's your house. Um, in a co-living is like the perfect middle between,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I'm not alone in my Airbnb, and I am not in a hostel where there is like people going and coming and going every 3 days, and partying, and wanting to know everything about you, because they are like so greedy, and like they need to meet so many people. So yeah, if you need focus, I
Mm-hmm.
I, I always choose co-living.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know how to make connection outside of an Airbnb alone, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's also a
So
point.
there are those three types of different housing, and they all have their own pros and cons.
Of course. Yeah, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Of course. I personally, because I'm living in community all the time, I personally prefer going to places now. So, for example, I did it in
Mm-hmm.
Bulgaria. I just took a
Yes.
2 months, 2 months and a half flat, but the community was already built there. So there is already
Mm-hmm.
5 co-working. There is event. I arrived during a festival, so it wasn't the same effect, because I met people
Yes.
very quickly, and I had a
Mm-hmm.
very quick routine linked to the people around, so I never felt alone. But for
Yeah.
example, if I'm a solo traveler, and I really had terrible moments where you are like, okay, you
Mm.
go to the free tour of the city, and then you go to the museum, and then you check if there is meetups, and yes, and it can be, it can, you can feel lonely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as
Yeah.
a
That's true.
woman, it's also difficult, because you cannot just go, to any, I mean, myself, most of the beer pong activity, I see them like a bit boring. So I'm like, wow, what can I do?
Yeah.
So yeah, co-living change the way that people are traveling now.
True. True. It wasn't there before.
No.
And what are your plans for the future? Do you have something else you want to do? Do you want to stay in La Palma? Do you want to do more? Do you want to do less? Uh,
I want to do less host. I don't want to host anymore. I think I host. I
okay.
got like to my point of, I know too much people intimately. Like, I know too much stories now, and yes, I want to travel. And I want to schedule my time around Europe in a more balanced way. Like I said, 2 months in Paris, summer in Bulgaria, some part of the winter here on La Palma, and I want to have a beautiful travel every year. So that will be my
Mhm.
my goal. And to do so, I'm building a community of 10 people. We are already
Mhm.
3. And the idea is like to have Skillshare
Mhm.
and really help each other to stick to the, to the good energy and follow up and like accountability, but helping each other to all the time be in the right level with their business and really follow up at least for 6 months and hope 1 year and
Mhm.
maybe 10 years. But the idea is like really to meet people with who I can build something online and
Mhm.
then meet each other, maybe here on La Palma if they want to come to visit me on La Palma. I still have the co-living open 2 months this season, and maybe go to visit another girl of the community that run also retreats
Yeah.
in Italy or this summer in Bulgaria.
Yes.
I'm calling my tribe, and I'm calling like not the tribe like we know that membership paid. I don't want to enter there. It's like more an accountability, but with a senior in their skills
Mhm.
that can really bring me something, and I can also give back
Yeah.
with my talent. I have several talents, but I'm really a specialist in sales, so
Mhm.
growth hacking, business development,
Mhm.
and this is what I want to do next. This is my next chapter: traveling slowly, enjoying life, and building something with 10 people. This is the
Yeah. So
vision.
the community would be fixed to 10 people maximum, mostly
Minimum
online.
10. No,
Minimum
minimum
10.
10. Maybe after there will be like different groups, who knows. But at the moment, I
Yeah.
think that
The
10
goal
is
is
enough.
10. Mhm.
It's a
And it's
first it's
mostly
a first
online. Mhm.
it's online and offline, yeah, but not like, like the it's not like we meet and there is a program. It's more like, hey, let's meet there and pass sometimes, but during the time where we are not connected offline, we we help each other.
Mhm.
We're creating literally a framework to help us
Mhm.
to do that, like
Yes.
yes, a framework where everybody got his role,
Mhm.
and then everybody empower each
Yeah.
project.
Yeah.
And this
Mhm.
is this is the next chapter after 3 years of co-living. Yeah,
And do you know how frequently you like to meet in real life on site,
I think I
or
would
you
love
see
every
how it
three
goes?
months every 3 months. I think it's doable,
Mhm.
but I don't want to force. I don't know, like
You'll
now
see.
I'm really open. Yeah, I'm really open. The most important is the people. It's not like the people stuck in a part of the world. So we are open to the entire world, and yeah, we just want
Mhm.
rock star. We want skyrocket. We want people that blow our mind, and we say like, "Oh my God, you got so cool ideas!" And this is what I want. I want to be proud of this team.
Yeah. Wow.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's because you have no link in the beginning. It's not like you're part of the same company or the same
No,
industry or you're living together. So it's 10 different people, which sure we'll
yeah,
meet
this
at
is the
some point,
challenge.
but yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
but we already met with Anya and Astrid,
Hmm.
and this is how I'm seeing that it's working.
I had one last question for you. Was is there anything you'd like to add? And I believe that's it. You're looking for rockstar, and
The
if
co-living is still on. We have a
and the
manager.
Coliving is still on, yeah,
Yeah. The co-living is still on, so I will not manage. I will just cook every Friday for
but it still
people.
be there. Hmm.
Huh?
It still stays there. The
Yeah, of
Coliving.
course. The co-living is still on.
Oh.
We have a
Hmm.
wonderful new manager, and yes, I'm gonna cook for the people. But yes, I'm focusing on finding my peers
Yeah,
and
yeah.
change the world, but slowly.
Maybe that's the biggest challenge to do it slowly.
Yes.
Then, at last, what's the best way to contact you to learn more about the co-living in La Palma and about your new project online and
I mean,
uh,
just people, if they are interested, they can just jump on the call on my website or just contact me by LinkedIn. I still read my message. So I'm really
You
like,
do?
yeah, yes, I do. And yes, if they want to contact me, they can just contact me by LinkedIn, or by my website, or by Instagram, and just yeah, I will answer always.
Okay. Thank you very
Thank
much
you.
for everything and for the sunshine, because as I was saying, I'm in Belgium right now and
Oh,
we have months
that
and
was too
months
much,
of
to be honest.
gloom.
That
So
was too
seeing
much.
some sunshine is perfect.
Yes. Thank you. Ciao.
Thank you very much. Bye.